What if everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's biggest stars was just the tip of the iceberg? Behind the carefully crafted public images and red carpet smiles lie stories so shocking, so deeply personal, that they've remained hidden for decades. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 10 incredible journeys of courage, authenticity, and transformation that will completely change how you see your favorite celebrities. From Olympic legends to beloved TV icons, these stories prove that the most powerful performance is simply being yourself. Buckle up, because what you're about to discover will leave you speechless. 1. Chaz Bono. Breaking free from expectations. Growing up as the child of Sonny and Cher meant living under a microscope that never stopped watching. Born chastity in 1969, Chaz spent decades feeling trapped in a life that didn't fit, like wearing shoes 2 sizes too small every single day. While the world saw a celebrity daughter at red carpet events, inside Chaz was wrestling with a truth that felt impossible to share. The pressure of being Cher's child while battling internal identity struggles must have been overwhelming beyond imagination. For years, he carried this weight in complete silence, juggling society's expectations with his authentic self. But by the late 2000s, at age 40, Chaz made a life-changing decision that would rewrite everything. His transition became groundbreaking for Hollywood. Chaz made history as the first openly transgender man to secure male roles in major productions like American Horror Story. Even Cher's journey of acceptance, despite occasional pronoun slips, showed America that family love can triumph over fear and confusion. 2. Andreja Pejić, redefining fashion's rules. Before becoming one of the world's most celebrated female models, Andreja Pejić lived in a unique space that fascinated the fashion world. As Andre, he was the male model who could effortlessly walk both men's and women's runways, turning heads everywhere. Born in war-torn Bosnia and raised in Australia, Andre always felt different. Finding comfort in his mother's makeup and clothing brought both joy and confusion in a world obsessed with rigid gender boxes. The fashion industry embraced his androgynous beauty, but internally, something fundamental was missing. Despite international success, Andre knew he was meant to live as a woman. In 2014, the decision to fully transition carried enormous professional risk. Would the fashion world that celebrated Andre's versatility accept Andreja as a woman? The answer was a resounding yes. She made history gracing GQ Portugal's cover as the first transgender model featured, proving that authenticity enhances rather than diminishes true beauty. 3. Caitlyn Jenner, America's most watched transformation. No transition in modern history captured America's attention quite like Caitlyn Jenner's journey from Olympic champion Bruce to living her authentic truth. This wasn't just celebrity news, it was a cultural earthquake. In 1976, Bruce Jenner embodied American athletic excellence, winning Olympic gold in the decathlon. But behind those medals was someone struggling with feelings that had haunted her since childhood. As a young boy, Bruce secretly experimented with family members' clothing, experiencing connections that both fascinated and terrified. Athletic achievement became her escape, hoping success would quiet the internal turmoil. Even becoming patriarch of America's most famous reality TV family couldn't silence these deep-rooted feelings. When Caitlyn revealed her truth at 65, an age when most consider retirement, not reinvention, it sent shockwaves nationwide. Her iconic Vanity Fair cover with "Call Me Caitlyn" didn't just change her life, it forced an entire country to confront their understanding of gender identity. 4. Laverne Cox, from survival to stardom. When Laverne Cox appeared in Orange is the New Black, she wasn't just playing a character, she was introducing mainstream America to stories that had remained invisible for too long. Growing up in Mobile, Alabama, during the 1980s and 90s wasn't easy for someone who knew she was different. The Deep South's conservative attitudes made expressing her true self feel dangerous, leading to relentless bullying that could have broken anyone's spirit. Dance became her sanctuary, the one place where she could express the feminine spirit society constantly tried to suppress. But the internal struggle nearly claimed her life. In 6th grade, overwhelmed by the conflict between her authentic self and the world's expectations, she attempted suicide. That desperate moment became her turning point instead of her ending. Moving to New York City allowed Laverne to embrace her identity fully. Orange is the New Black catapulted her to fame, but she's used that platform for something far more important, becoming an advocate and beacon of hope for countless others. 5. Fallon Fox, fighting for athletic acceptance. In the brutal world of mixed martial arts, Fallon Fox didn't just step into the octagon to fight opponents. She entered to battle an entire system of prejudice and misunderstanding about transgender athletes. Born in Toledo, Ohio, Fallon knew early that she was different from other boys. But expressing this truth in her family proved devastating. Instead of support, she faced rejection and the traumatic experience of conversion therapy, society's cruel attempt to fix something that was never broken. Making the brave decision to transition without family support, Fallon eventually made history as the first openly transgender athlete in professional MMA. The backlash was immediate and vicious, with critics arguing unfair advantages while questioning her very right to compete. But Fallon refused to back down. Every fight became a statement that transgender athletes deserve the same opportunities as everyone else. Her courage paved the way for important conversations about inclusion and fairness in professional sports. 6. Jazz Jennings, growing up authentic. Some people spend lifetimes searching for their voice. Jazz Jennings found hers at 6 years old and has been changing the world with it ever since. When Jazz sat with Barbara Walters in 2007, she wasn't just another child being interviewed. This 6-year-old, assigned male at birth, calmly explained to America that she knew exactly who she was, a girl who wouldn't be told otherwise. Even as a toddler, Jazz gravitated toward feminine clothing and toys, correcting anyone who used wrong pronouns with polite but firm determination. She even believed a magical fairy would transform her body to match her identity, innocent words that revealed profound self-knowledge. Her family's response was extraordinary. Instead of trying to change Jazz, they embraced their daughter completely, providing the foundation for her to become one of transgender youth's most visible advocates. Through her TLC show, I Am Jazz, millions have watched her navigate adolescence with remarkable grace and authenticity. 7. Carmen Carrera, bridging two worlds. Carmen Carrera's journey from RuPaul's Drag Race to transgender advocacy illustrates the complex relationship between drag performance and authentic gender identity. After captivating audiences with glamorous drag performances, Carmen's path took a profound turn as she began transitioning. This created unique challenges. Many fans struggled to understand the difference between her drag persona and her authentic female identity. Carmen courageously used her platform to educate others, notably speaking out against harmful language in drag culture. When she called out offensive terminology on Drag Race, some accused her of being ungrateful, but Carmen stood firm in her advocacy. Her story reminds us that growth sometimes requires challenging the communities we love, and that progress demands difficult conversations about respect and inclusion. 8. Gigi Gorgeous, YouTube's transparency pioneer. In social media's age of carefully curated content, Gigi Gorgeous made a revolutionary choice, documenting her entire transition journey for millions of strangers to witness. Starting as Gregory creating beauty content, her YouTube channel evolved as her self-understanding grew. What began as makeup tutorials became one of the most honest, raw documentations of gender transition ever shared publicly. The courage required cannot be overstated. Imagine choosing to transition while knowing every step, every change, every vulnerable moment would be scrutinized by millions. Gigi didn't just come out. She brought her audience along for the entire journey. Her transparency created a roadmap for others feeling alone in their struggles. Young people worldwide reached out sharing their stories, while parents thanked her for helping them understand their transgender children better. Her vulnerability became a bridge between communities. 9. Hari Nef, redefining success standards. When Hari Nef signed with IMG Models in 2015, becoming one of the first openly transgender women represented by a major agency, she wasn't just booking photo shoots, she was rewriting industry rules. Growing up in Philadelphia, Hari didn't recognize her transgender identity until college at Columbia University. Her later realization highlights the diversity of transgender experiences. There's no single timeline for discovering authentic self. Her transition from student to high-fashion model proved transgender women could succeed in historically exclusive industries. Every magazine cover and acting role in shows like Transparent became a statement about belonging in spaces traditionally reserved for others. Hari's intellectual approach to advocacy sets her apart. She doesn't just succeed professionally, she actively creates opportunities for other transgender individuals, proving representation matters both symbolically and practically. 10. Elliot Page, a powerful declaration. When Elliot Page shared his truth in December 2020, it resonated globally, reminding us that authenticity journeys don't follow prescribed timelines. Known for years as Ellen, he'd already established himself through acclaimed performances in Juno, Inception, and The Umbrella Academy. But behind the success was a personal struggle that had been building for years. His announcement surprised millions. Here was someone who seemed to have everything figured out, revealing that his most important journey lay ahead. The thoughtful way he shared his truth, acknowledging both personal excitement and awareness of broader transgender challenges, made his declaration particularly powerful. Elliot's story proves that authentic living doesn't end at any particular age. It's an ongoing process of becoming who you're meant to be, regardless of timeline or what you might leave behind. As we reach the end of these remarkable journeys, take a moment to absorb what we've experienced together. These aren't just transgender stories, they're human stories about courage, authenticity, and the beautiful complexity of the human experience. Each person we've discussed faced unique challenges, but they share something profound: the courage to live their truth in a world demanding conformity. From Chaz Bono's groundbreaking visibility to Elliot Page's powerful declaration, these individuals have paved the way for others to live authentically. What strikes me most is how these stories challenge us to examine our own assumptions. They remind us that gender identity is deeply personal, and everyone's journey is valid regardless of when or how they discover their authentic self. These 10 remarkable people didn't just transform their own lives, they transformed our understanding of what it means to be human. They've shown us that the most beautiful thing you can be is yourself, even when that self doesn't fit society's neat little boxes. Their stories continue inspiring new generations who no longer have to feel alone in their journeys. They've created legacies of visibility, acceptance, and hope that will outlast any individual career or achievement. Behind every statistic about transgender individuals lies a human story of courage, resilience, and the fundamental desire to be seen and accepted for who they truly are. These 10 individuals have given us the gift of their truth, making the world a little braver, a little kinder, and infinitely more beautiful. If these stories moved you, challenged your perspectives, or simply reminded you of authenticity's power, share this video with others who need these messages of hope and courage. Because in a world that often demands we hide our true selves, these brave souls have shown us that living authentically isn't just an option, it's the most powerful choice we can make.